Okay. Okay, welcome to State Adventures, everybody. My name is Carolina Gilcapi. I'm the founder and destination expert. And Magda, thank you so much for joining me today and letting us know a little bit about your experience with State Adventures. Everyone, Magdalena Piekasz is the founder of Elite Dance and Travel Studio, and she recently entrusted us to take care of her group going to Argentina. Magda puts together these amazing dance trips all over the world so that they can practice dancing. So we were able to take part of that this year. So Magdalena, tell us, what was your favorite part of the whole State Adventures experience?
Well, first of all, to bring my vision to reality. So I think our first meeting was so powerful, and really I didn't expect that. You were able to take what I had in my mind and actually make it a reality, really with minimum of my involvement. What I love that, my vision, my desires were able to be put in a detailed itinerary that you shortly have sent me, and everything was already like it became real. So I love the simplicity of it, how little of a conversation we had and how much of the concept and understanding you had, and really converted it to a beautiful itinerary that became a beautiful trip for all of us.
Oh, I love that. And I'm all about listening 80%, talking 20%, because every trip is different. So it's really important that first meeting is the core. And, we've had decades of experience in luxury travel. And to me, the most important thing is people on the ground, the team on the ground that's going to be taking care of our clients. So how do you feel about the guides and the drivers that we hired for your group?
Well, that was, I think, fantastic. Me working with people all the time, I think that's what made the trip for us. Number one, that it was a consistency, that we had our own private, and in that case was our Pablo. But I think that's what glued us. They were very informative, very personal. They went above and beyond with everything. We were hugging, we were giving high fives. We became part of the group, but really knowing how to service, we felt really first class every time that we've been picked up or guided or brought up. It was just enough of information between them being very knowledgeable, but giving it to a way for us that was very memorable and experiential too.
Oh, I love that. Yes. To me, a guide can make or break a trip. So it's so important. I'll make sure to let Pablo know that,
for sure,
that you enjoyed
He
his
did a brilliant job.
And so in regards to planning the trip, clients may have some questions, what is the process? What steps did you take to actually make the trip come from out of your mind onto paper and then actually booking? Was it Zoom meetings that helped you, telephone conversations, the fact that I was available to everybody on your group, not just you as the leader? Which steps helped you the most realize the trip?
Well, your promptness with putting everything in an exact detail. Your presentation came in the hall with pictures. I never been before to Argentina, so for me, like after seeing the proposal that you gave me, I already experienced it. Like I could picture it. Your presentation and meeting the group, you done beautiful. What I could not do alone, I can give it away. What you were able to present and tell us about through the power slides that you've done, and really bringing your experience to it and show what the trip will be all about. I mean, for me, that was effortless, from the planning to the presentation, which really converted in wonderful participation and people wanting to do it. Of course, our meetings were crucial to understand you teaching me and showing me every step of the way. You always had an answer for it, and we will have that cover. We'll have that cover. Everything, was taken care of. You answer questions before I had them. I didn't know I would have those questions. I loved your detailed list list, even what to pack, from sunscreen to shoes to how many outfits do I need. I mean, I never experienced that. I was able to, we all got it printed, and literally we were sending pictures of people on the bed have those lists, and we packing accordingly to your, like a prescription. The headache was gone. I mean, everything, every detail from our passports, forms, everything was absolutely taken care of. For me was huge. I felt very worry free. I didn't feel like an organizer. I felt like a participant, and I entrusted you 100%, and you over delivered. Now that we are over it and we are back home, 130%. So that was a huge help for me.
Wonderful. That's really good to hear, because I mean, 16 years I've been doing this. So I've been creating these lists and improving them and seeing what works. And I do it myself and I test it. So I think that that shows, so I'm so happy to hear that it shows. And then, with travel, no trip is perfect and things can change, or people are tired. And I always like to let people know we're available 24/7. We put together the logistics, the behind the scenes and structure the itinerary, but it's not set in stone. And I always like to give my clients the freedom, or, to change. So on your trip, was there an instance where you felt, oh my God, we need to change this, or we need, this isn't going to work? And did the team step in and was able to do that? Did you have any experience with that with your group?
Yeah, of course. We did have few, and again, when you say luxury travel, for me, that's where I experience this. It's not to book just the best place and hotel, that we had beautiful, places to stay. But what do you do when things don't go the right way? One of our experiences was there when we had a client being late to one of our excursions, and the guide stayed, and we went ahead. He stayed specially for her, waited for her, accommodated, brought her in a cab, and took care of her. She didn't miss it. It was completely personalized experience. The other thing was when one night, we really couldn't, we were too tired to eat, and the whole group just felt like crashing between the travel and all. And also you guys were able to move the dinner to another day, be flexible, and just arrange the plans, because the group felt differently that night. My personal experience was when we were in the Iguazu Falls, and the entire group felt like going back home, but me, the little adventurous, I really wanted the boat ride. And the guide stayed with me and planned everything just for me, at the same time took care of the group. So everybody, not the smallest request was forgotten or minimized, and I was accommodated with. He was waiting for me, just for me, after hours, brought me extra to the hotel on completely not planned itinerary to make it possible to,
So happy. Yeah.
And it was just for one meet, which I really, it could have been the group doesn't do it. It does happen. And he said, no, just hold on a few minutes. And it was all resolved. And he come by, said, we can make it happen. The group will do what they want, and you will also have that. So I was blown away. That's when it comes down to one wish of a client. And, it happened to be me. But I felt if one of my clients had that and that was accommodated, I think that would be a blown away experience. That's where, the luxury, I would say, showed up for me in the trip, in those moments.
Exactly. Everyone can put together a trip, but you can do the same trip very differently in so many different ways. And it's the, devil is in the details. And I'm so detail oriented. So I'm so happy to hear that. Literally gave me goosebumps to think about it. So thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
And then just the one more topic, which is my favorite topic, food. So, Sade Adventures is like, we love to include some culinary experiences, and we try to include a few for you, even though you guys are dancers and active participants. We try to include some amazing Argentinian food. Anyone that sticks in mind or was your favorite?
Well, they were all great. I always love, that it wasn't just restaurant food, which those were great, but the one that we were involved in, and they were all so different. My most memorable part was when we were at the farm at the estancia with the gauchos and in the open air. We just kind of after the horse ride and all settled to like a family picnic in the open with the locals, really immersing with the culture like no other excursion could do. We just sat at the table with them, ate their food, met the kids, met their history, like became part of the Argentinian experience. For me, that was so real. I still can picture like we all sitting there, the beautiful birds, the colorful parrots, right? Were there. I mean, all of it was great. And the food was like homemade by them. The grill was fantastic. So that was most organic kind of gathering. I absolutely loved the classes that we had with the Argentinian experience too in the Iguazu Falls. That was very, very nice. And that we were private, that we are the only one, felt so special and catered to us. That was superb. The cooking classes in Buenos Aires too, when we get to cook our own stew and just as a team building, you really found the perfect person for us. It was very well
It helps that he was very handsome, the chef.
that always helps. But I think, to finish it and the way you position it in the trip, which was the last day, to combine this, to do it together, it was a icing on the cake, as I say, to finish on a very high note where normally people will be packing and waiting to the airport. We were to the last minute, really involved, really hands-on, experiencing the trip to the maximizing every minute.
I love that. And it's, again, details. That last day of the trip is always one of the most important for me. So it's kind of a standard for me to include something on the last day, because there is that awkward gap between checking out of the hotel and an evening flight home. What do we do? Well, let's cook. Let's go to a market. Let's meet a local chef one more time. So I'm so happy that that worked out and that you enjoyed it. I love that trip. And the fact that he invites you into his private kitchen and it's really hands-on. Those are the things you remember the most. So we always try to include something like that on every trip, regardless of the country, not just Argentina. So I so appreciate your time and taking these moments to reminisce about the trip. And I look forward to planning Argentina 2023 for your dancers or another destination. We have so many places we can dance around the world for sure.
Yeah, I definitely learned one lesson. I will never do trip alone. What you've delivered and made, for myself and our customers, it not worth it to go with anybody else or do it alone. This is the way to do it, and it was effortless. It was great, and I can wait to our next adventure.
Same here. Thank you so much. So everybody, this is how easy it is. Jump on the Zoom with me and we can plan your trip. I so look forward to it, and happy travels.
Happy travels, everybody.
Thank you so much.